What's up, guys? So going to be taking you through some of my favorite exercises that I added in yesterday for just a quick 60-minute workout. My workouts have generally been a bit shorter recently since I've transitioned to more of a bodybuilding focus, and so if you're looking for a workout that's really effective, really something that you can get in, get out, then definitely check out some of these exercises I'm going to be voicing over and just explaining a little bit about each exercise and some tips and tricks for each one. So I was in and out of the gym in about, I think it was like 80 minutes total with like warm up and cool down. So yeah, so if you guys have any other workouts that you'd like to see, let me know. But here are some of my favorite leg exercises, and I hope you guys have a great day. All right, guys, so first thing is first. This is leg press, as you can see, and here I worked up to this weight. I didn't just jump in and start doing this weight. Usually I like to start all of my workouts with about a 10-minute walk on the treadmill. This just gets my body warm, especially here I live in Columbus, Ohio, and it's winter and it's a little chilly outside. So generally just walking on the treadmill, doing the elliptical for about 10 minutes gets me warm. Then I do some dynamic warm-up routines before I go into my first exercise, and this was my first exercise, was leg press. And I worked up to, I believe that was 500 pounds for sets of 15. So the first thing that I did was 3 sets of 15 with 500 pounds. And then on the last set, so this is something that I like to add in occasionally, is a drop set. So depending on how I'm feeling from one day to the next, I might add a drop set on my final set. That's usually the only set that I add a drop set in on, just because I don't want to fatigue myself on the other sets and not be able to complete my weight that I set out to do 3 by 15. So 3 by 15, and then I stripped a plate for each drop set, and what I did was I went down to 4 plates on each side for 10 reps, then 3 plates on each side for 20 reps, and then 2 plates on each side for 30 reps. And so, to be honest, I just kind of made this up on the fly, but I only had 60 minutes in the gym because I had appointments later that day. So occasionally I like to add this in just in order to get my heart rate up, get myself moving, get myself awake. So this was actually kind of early for me working out. I normally don't enjoy lifting really, first thing in the morning, but I had to get to an appointment. So I find that drop sets are a good way to add in some more volume and really just get your heart rate going. I love that feeling. I used to be a track runner, so I would suggest adding in drop sets occasionally, but not for every set. So usually I add them in on my last set. If I'm feeling like those sets just weren't quite hard enough, or I really want to feel that extra burn, then on the last set. But muscle damage is not an indication of failure, so make sure muscle damage is not an indication, a direct correlation to muscle growth, so make sure you're not adding those in too frequently. So next exercise was single leg press. So as you can see, my range of motion is a bit shorter because I want these to be quad focused. So I am not trying to take my knee all the way to my chin and overstretch my adductor, because I have actually injured my adductor from doing those improperly before. So make sure on the single leg press that your hips are square and you're really driving through that heel. So next here we have glute ham raise, and you'll see that I'm using a PVC pipe. So what the PVC pipe does is it allows you to maintain better form, maintain better posture. I can do GHR without any sort of assistance, but since I wanted to hit, so on the single leg press I did 4 by 20 each leg, and then here on the GHR I did 5 by 15. Or maybe it was 5 by 15 to 20, I can't remember. So 4 to 5 sets on each exercise is generally what I do. It's pretty standard. But here, see, you'll notice this was actually one of my sets where I did not use any assistance, and then I thought, I feel like I'm using my back a bit too much. I'm kind of like swinging into it and not feeling the contraction as much as I want. Using that pole or that pipe is really going to allow you to use your hamstrings and not necessarily like swing up with your lower back. I see a lot of improper form on these and people using more of their lower back than actually their hamstrings. And also make sure it's stable on the ground. You can see there I slipped a little bit on the floor with the pipe. So make sure that you have some sort of a either a PVC pipe or some sort of something you can use to stabilize yourself. And that can help you too if you're working up to doing normal reps with that. So the next exercise that I did were split squats. So these here I like to do on a bench press. Now, don't take a bench press if it's super busy and everyone's waiting for the bench press, and you know, because you can do these other places as well. You don't need to take a bench press if the gym is packed. But I like this because I can hold on to the bar and balance. So what I do is I have the foot closest to the bar. So on the inside is going to be the leg that I'm focusing on. And then I'm going to have the weight in my opposite hand, and it's going to be as close to my leg that's back on the bench as possible. And the reason I want it as close to my leg as possible is because that aligns the weight up with your hips, and you want to make sure that you have square hips when you're doing this, and you're not leaning forward. So see how upright my chest is? I'm not leaning forward. I'm keeping a neutral back. And shout out to Core there on my shirt, my sponsor. KD20 gets you 20% off online, just letting you know. Best supplements ever. And the apparel. So get your Core stuff. So that's one of my favorite glute exercises, and make sure you are keeping the emphasis in your heels. So don't lean too far forward, keep that back neutral. So next, cable pull-throughs. All right, so here I believe I did 4x15, and then on the last set, I did a drop set, because on these, I really find it difficult to have a weight. Now, actually, I didn't find this during prep, but now that I'm reversing and I'm up in weight a bit and I'm feeling a lot better, energy is a lot higher, I have a hard time getting actually enough weight on these in order to feel like I'm pushing myself to like an 8 RPE with like 2 reps left in the tank, or 1 rep left in the tank, a 9 RPE. So I find it challenging. So on the last rep, sometimes I like to add in a drop set. As I mentioned, I add in drop sets depending on how I'm feeling, to add in some extra volume if I feel like the sets were not challenging enough. So I don't add these in for every exercise. I did not add them in for GHR. I did not add them in for split squats. So I did 4x15 there on cable pull-throughs. I believe I worked up to like 170 pounds on those, and then did a drop set and finished those out. So here, this is an option. So I was actually in a hurry. I was gonna try to set up for hip thrusts and add in a few sets of those, but I did not have time to set it up. So another option you can do is actually setting up on the leg extension machine. I know it looks funky, but trust me, these burn. So what I did here actually was finishing out with 2 sets of 30 reps on these, just as a final glute burn, and overall just to finish out my workout. I think a lot of times people overcomplicate leg workouts. Really stick to the basics. I don't change things up a ton. I don't add in a lot of crazy stuff. There's no secret to building muscle. It's just time, consistency, hard work, and pushing yourself in the gym. I mean, I was sweating by the end of this workout. I was pushing myself. I don't just go into the gym and dilly-dally. I go in there to work. So enjoy, and let me know if you guys try these out.